a topic that is very relevant for all of us to understand fully our very own existence as humans. My dear listeners, may I present my partner, the beautiful Ma'am Rosabel Mancinido.
Okay, good morning everyone, especially to our dear learners and listeners. It is my pleasure to share to you some of the concepts or information regarding our lesson for today.
Science is important because our understanding about these hormones and their function means we can assist fertility and find solution if problems fertility occur. Ay, sorry.
Oo.
Nag-ulit kami.
Nag-try na po.
Ganito, nakita ko nga, sorry nawalan ako ng internet, ganito. Napansin ko lang na medyo mabilis ang inyong discussion, hindi siya parang natural na conversation. Okay? Nagbabasa pa rin kayo. Tapos, siguro mas maigi kung may interaction siya among the members of the team. Like yung anchor, pag may bawang hindi siya naiintindihan. Kasi diba, you keep on talking about ang tawag dito, hindi ko mabasa yung tama ito, gonadotropin releasing hormone, di ba?
Gonadotropin ba?
Yeah, gonadotropin releasing hormone. So hindi ko siya ma-pronounce ng maayos, hindi ko rin siya maintindihan. Tapos like, ano ibig sabihin ng homeostasis? Although you've mentioned here that it's a way to normalize the hormone in the body, but there's a need for you to explore further what is meant by the term homeostasis. Okay? So you have to make it a bit mabagal kasi pag nakikinggan natin siya, parang nagmumukha siyang binabasa talaga. Okay? So parang may usapan. Okay, sige, let's go. Let's start. Okay. So good morning to our dear listeners. We are excited that we are joined by these two resource speakers from our schools in Paracali District. And I'm sure that there will be an exciting learning encounter for our listeners, particularly in grade 10. Okay? So we would like to ask our resource speakers to introduce themselves. So, parang natural lang. Okay. Yes, sir?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the very first session of our radio-based instruction. My name is Marvin P. Dasco from Paracali National High School. I, together with my partner, an equally competent science teacher from Tabas National High School, will share to you a topic that is very relevant for all of us to understand fully our very own existence as humans. My dear listeners, may I present my partner, the beautiful Ma'am Rosabel Mancinido.
Okay, thank you, Sir Marvin.
Bell, yes, go ahead, Ma'am Rosabel. We're also
everyone, especially to our dear listeners and learners, of course. It is my pleasure to share to you some of the important concepts and information regarding our topic for today.
Okay, so I'm really excited. So, Ma'am Mancinido and Sir Marvin, I'm really excited as your anchor in this learning episode. And I'm sure that our listeners also are excited, like our parents who are listening to us. So parang magkikwento lang tayo, our parents, our teachers. So we are inviting also our teachers to tune in our radio station in Paracali, because I'm sure in a while our resource speakers will be talking so much about the female in the male reproductive organ, particularly the role of hormones, because nowadays we really have to have an understanding of what are the roles of hormones in our body, particularly the male and the female reproductive systems. Am I right, Sir Marvin?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sir.
Okay, good to hear that, Ma'am Rosabel. But before we proceed to our learning engagement this morning in our radio-based instruction, may we hear from you, Ma'am Rosabel, what are our objectives for this radio-based instruction?
All right. To our dear learners, for today's lesson, you will learn the following. Okay, to start with, let me give you the objectives of our lesson. These are as follows. Number 1, identify the hormones involved in male and female reproductive system. Okay.
Okay, Ma'am Rosabel,
Apo.
Ma'am, dapat maging mindful kayo ha, kasi minsan nagbabatin si Anchor.
Okay,
ha?
sir.
So, Ma'am Rosabel, do we expect our learners to identify the male and the reproductive system by illustrating it? So what is installed in our activity for this day?
All right. So, in our learning activity sheet, my dear learners, please refer on your learning activity sheet. Okay, you can check from the last the different concepts and the hormones that are involved in our reproductive system, so that you may follow, or you may interfere on our discussion today. And actually, you may ask questions by sending a message, or by sending us text. Through text, you can ask us some important question. All right?
Okay, good to hear that, Ma'am Rosabel. Dapat maging natural din tayo. Pwede tayo mag-Tagalog. So, napaka-magandang usapan ito ngayong umaga, Ma'am Rosabel. Especially our grade 10 learners. It's very relevant and it's very timely. So, aside from they will be identifying the roles of hormones in the male and the female reproductive system, what are the other objectives in this activity?
Okay. So, aside from that, number 2, you can describe after the lesson, you can describe now the role of each hormone in the male and female reproductive system. And of course, lastly, you can explain how these hormones regulate the male and female reproductive system. That is why this is very interesting, because this is happening within our body.
Okay, that's right, Ma'am Rosabel. So I'm sure our listeners will be excited to join in our discussion. Am I right, Sir Marvin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, to formally start the discussion, class. Okay, are you ready? Right. So let me give you my partner to share us more insights about hormones in both male and female reproductive systems. He is a teacher from Paracale National High School. My dear friends, Sir Marvin Dasco.
Thank you, Ma'am Rosabel. So, to better understand the topic that we are going to discuss for today, let us be clear with the definition of a hormone. What is a hormone, and what its major role in human body in general? So, hormones are chemical substances that act like messenger molecules in the body. It is released in the endocrine system of our body. So after being made, yes, sir.
Yeah. Where is the endocrine system in our body? Where can we find that in our body, in the anatomy of the human body? In what part of the body? Like, can you show it? Like in the upper part of your body, in the lower part of the body?
Student, you may see the actual picture by referring to your endocrine system. There is a drawing that you can refer where is the location of your endocrine system.
Additional to that, sir, actually there are this endocrine system is just like other systems in our body, just like nervous system, respiratory system, and etc. Our endocrine system is another system that is responsible to keep the balance in our body.
Good. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So after being made in one part of the body, so they travel to the other parts of the body, where they help control how cells and organs do their work. For example, insulin is a hormone that made in the pancreas. So when released into the blood, insulin helps regulate how the cells of the body use glucose or sugar for energy. Without insulin,
yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ibig sabihin, yung ating mga hormones, kasi baka itanong ng ating mga learners kung paano ba yan nagta-travel throughout our body. So nasabi ni Sir kanina, it will be secreted in our blood and to be carried out by our blood on or to the different parts of our body. Di ba, Sir?
Yes, ma'am. So without insulin, several diseases like diabetes might occur. However, our lesson for today are hormones in male and female reproductive organs. These hormones are drivers of human reproduction. Sex hormones are responsible for driving sexual development, also known as puberty, in which teenagers or adolescent reach sexual maturity and become capable of reproduction. So the main reproductive hormones are estrogens and testosterones. Remember that the main reproductive hormones are estrogen and testosterone. Estrogens come from female reproductive organ, and testosterone are from the male reproductive organ. Always remember that, student. So basically, the estrogen causes the egg cell to mature in ovaries once a girl hits puberty. These are then released at regular intervals during menstrual cycle. However, testosterone stimulates sperm production in the male. So when these reproductive hormones do not work as they should, fertility problems can occur. These lessons in science is important because our understanding about these hormones and their function means we can assist fertility and find solution if problems in fertility occur.
Okay, that's very interesting to note, sir. Kaya pala, during puberty, doon nagbabago yung katawan ng babae at lalaki because yung outspurt of growth nangyayari during puberty. And you are right to say, yes, that the main hormones that is responsible in the development of the male reproductive organ is the testosterone. Am I right? Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So our dear listeners, so the male has the testosterone, while the female has the estrogen. Okay. So yung pala yun. So tama yung sabi ni sir. Kapag may mga, if there are some abnormalities in terms of the fertility, normally dito nagpapakonsult sa doktor para mas maintindihan yung mekanismo ng katawan ng babae at lalaki. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely correct.
Correct. Okay, Sir Marvin, hinahina ang pagsasalita kasi medyo nanggigigil ka. Sakto lang, okay? Good. It's good to hear that, sir. Okay, so we encourage our participants, our teachers, our listeners who are joining us in our radio-based instruction to type in their answers in the chat box if they are online. And if they have their cell phones, they can chat. They can text us to this cell phone numbers, 0915-255-9375. So we'll answer your questions to the listening that we could so that we can understand this topic. So ma'am, we have a text question here.
Yes, sir.
This is for Ma'am Rosabel. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, paano daw malalaman kung may abnormality ang male and female reproductive organs or systems?
Okay. We can determine if there is hormonal imbalance in the reproductive system of the male and female because sometimes some females cannot produce babies. They cannot bear babies. All right. Some girls, they don't have the so-called regular menstruation. So menstruation. So based on that experiences, we can say that there is something wrong. And in terms of reproductive system, these hormones are very vital, very significant in order for our reproductive system to function properly. Kaya class or sa ating mga learners, kung napapansin ninyo na yung mga na-experience ng ibang mga classmates ninyo, ng ibang kaibigan ninyo, na bakit ikaw may kakaiba sa iba, so you have to ask your parents also so that they can refer you to a doctor or can give you some advice on how to cope up with this hormonal imbalance.
Oh, okay. That's right, Ma'am Rosabel. So, Sir Marvin, what can you say about to the parents? So it's good that we talk about these issues because it's high time that our parents also needs to be educated about the reproductive organ. So, ano lang po, siguro po sa ating mga parents, mas maiging habang nakikinig po kayo, nandiyan po kayo sa katabi ng mga anak ninyo para mas ma-explain natin that these are actually normal happenings in our body. Okay, and Ma'am Rosabel is right that in the event that there are some abnormalities or if there are some different feeling that you have felt in your body, you may ask our medical doctors to help us out understand these conditions. Okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on.
Na tayo, sir.
O ano na? Ay, dapat ang presence of mind, ha? Moving on.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Okay, wow, that was very well said, Sir Marvin. And for on the part of our learners, we are happy, and you must be happy also that there is a platform for you to understand fully or to understand more our lesson. So thank you for sharing us your thoughts about the main role of our hormones in the human body. So ganyan siya ka-importante sa ating katawan. So
okay, good. Rosabel, it's platform, ha? Hindi platform. Platform.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
go.
You,
Okay. So that is very clear. A gland should control the flow of hormone to keep hormonal balance or homeostasis. Okay, class, that is the hormonal balance in our body, homeostasis. And speaking of glands and hormones in the human reproductive system, siguro, sir, mas maganda sabihin muna natin sa mga estudyante natin, ano nga ba itong tinatalakay natin, pinag-uusapan natin ng mga hormones? Kasi baka kung mag-clog na sa brain, ano ba yung mga hormones na yan? So para mas maging clear, let us start with these hormones. I-classify natin yung mga hormones na involved sa mga kalalakihan and so with the female. So to start with, Sir Marvin, what are these hormones involved in the male reproductive system?
Okay, ma'am. For the male reproductive system, ito po yung mga hormones that involves. So, the number one is gonadotropin-releasing hormone, or simply as GnRH.
Can you say that again,
number
again?
Two,
sir, can you say that again, please?
Gonadotropin.
Gonadotropin-releasing hormone. Gonadotropin-releasing hormone, or GnRH. Number two is follicle stimulating hormone, or AFHS. And number three is luteinizing hormone, or simply as LH. And even testosterone and androgen. Those are the hormones in male reproductive system.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hormones, right, Sir Marvin? So as you said, we have the gonadotropin releasing hormone, then we have the follicle stimulating hormones, then we have luteinizing hormone, then also we have inhibin, then testosterone, which I'm sure our learners are very familiar because this is the most commonly used term insofar as the hormones for the male reproductive system is concerned. And of course, we have the androgen. Okay?
Okay. So, my dear learners, okay, makinig kayong mabuti, class, ha? Kasi mapapansin niyo dito, as we discuss further, mapapansin nyo, baka malito kayo, you have to concentrate na merong mga hormones na magkakaparehas at merong magkaiba. Okay, look at this. For the female has also the so-called gonadotropin releasing hormones, or the GnRH, and that is the same with the male. We have also the follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH, and luteinizing hormones. But for the two remaining hormones, this is only present to us, that the so-called progesterone and the estrogen. So as you will notice, tingnan nating mabuti, balikan natin. So there are some hormones that are common to both male and female reproductive systems. Ito yun mga minamahal naming estudyante. So we mentioned about gonadotropin releasing hormone, the FSH and LH. Lahat yan ay present sa male and female. Please take note that although male and female reproductive system have hormones in common, they differ in functions because bakit sila magkakaiba ng function? Because the male has testes and the female has ovaries. So kahit pares ng hormones na na-release, magkakaroon ng pagkakaiba kung paano sila gumagana sa ating katawan because of the difference in the reproductive organs. Naintindihan ba? Okay, let's continue. Aside from this, there are other hormones common to them are progesterone and testosterone. Okay, baka malito na naman kayo. Yung progesterone and testosterone ay meron din ang babae kasi maalala nyo kanina, testosterone is mentioned by Sir Marvin that is present to male reproductive system. Okay, always remember, meron din tayong mga babae ng testosterone, only that the level of this testosterone in female is very low. Sa lalaki, mataas ang kanilang testosterone level, pero sa ating mga babae, mas mataas ang amount ng progesterone level. O, tandaan ninyo pa
yan, ha? That's very interesting to note. Yeah, that's very interesting to note, Ma'am Rosabel, that female has progesterone, but it's present in a very small amount.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on.
Okay, and another difference in the presence of androgen and inhibin for the male, itong inhibin class na mention kanina ni Sir, he mentioned that this maintains the normal temperature of the sperm cells. That is why mapapansin ninyo sometimes sa mga, this is especially for the male students, kapag sobrang init ng panahon, mapapansin ninyo sa inyong scrotum nakasag siya, medyo sag, and kung tuwing December naman or cold ang ating weather, mapapansin nyo naka-contract siya. Kumbaga nakadikit siya dun sa ating testes, di ba? O na-experience nyo ba yan? O baka nahihiya lang, pero you try to think about it and observe yourselves kapag mainit at malamig, kung tama ba yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Bing. And the hormones...
Ma'am Bing, yeah, sorry to cut you. So Ma'am Bing, what does it mean? What does it mean? If it's during the cold weather, ganun ang nangyayari sa ating scrotum. At during summer, that's the normal that's happening in our scrotum. So what does it mean?
Okay. So in this process or in this situation, yan yung role ng inhibin. Okay?
I see. Yan. So it's also one of the hormones, right?
Yes, sir. That is present in male only. Yan ang role niya to maintain. Sabi ni Sir Marvin kanina, this serves as barometer. To maintain the temperature of the sperm. Kasi baka mamaya yan, sa sobrang init, magkakaroon tayo ng decrease in the number of sperm. So, yung pagsag na yan ng inyong scrotum and ang pag-contract ng inyong scrotum, it means the inhibin maintains the temperature, the normal temperature of the testes to keep your sperm cell healthy and alive. Okay? So kapag bumaba siya, pinapalamig niya ng konti ang temperatura. Kapag naman nag-contract siya, medyo pinapainit niya ang temperature ng inyong sperm. Okay, maliwanag ba yon?
Okay, that's very interesting to note, Ma'am Rosabel, to our male listeners. Ano po? So, kaya pala may mga issues yung mga nag-abroad daw, nahihirapan magkaroon ng anak because of the temperature difference. So, they would refer to a medical doctor in order to check whether the temperature of the system in the scrotum is still within the normal temperature. And it's the role of the inhibin to determine the temperature of the ano bang tawag yan, yung lugar ng scrotum in the main reproductive organ. Okay, that's good. So that's very interesting. Okay, ma'am, may tanong tayo dito. Sa ating Facebook chat. Sabi po niya, ma'am, ano po yung ano daw ma'am yung where can we find out the scrotum? Oh, tingnan mo yung batang ito, hindi namang scrotum, baka babae ito.
Okay, so ganito yan, klase, no? So maganda kasi nagtatanong na kayo. Ibig sabihin you are very interested sa lesson natin. Okay. Yan scrotum na yan, that is part of the reproductive system of the male. Tayong mga babae.
Ma'am Rosabel, sagit lang. Naisip ko lang bigla, ano kaya kung magkaroon tayo ng live discussion na ganito?
Oy,
tapos
sige,
i-post natin sa Facebook, ako mag-a-anchor.
Sige, sir.
I-post natin sa Facebook para mas
Oh, sige, sir.
Sir, let me butt in kasi yung Paracali TV Baga Station sa Paracali, wala naman sir gumagamit ng Channel 6 nila. Mas reliable kasi po yung mga bata na nanonood ng TV. Baka pwede natin, sir, i-tap yun.
Mabayaran tayo nun. Magbabayad sila nun. Ang usap lang. Ang usap lang kasi i-radio station. Kasi nakikita ko, very useful ang ginagawa natin.
Para naman, sir, hindi
tayo.
Ay, di ganito, sir.
Para hindi naman po sila magpapabayad. Alam po kasi may airtime kasi doon, wala naman po, hindi naman po nila ginagamit.
Hindi, nakausap namin si Mayor dyan. May usap na ang division para hindi na yan. Oo. Alam mo, nanghinahing ako sa usapan natin, we can actually have mga small talks in the Facebook like this. Tapos mag-i-invite ako ng mga resource speakers para ma-reinforce yung ating discussion. Ano?
Tapos sir, kapag kunwari walang nagtatanong, mag-drama-drama. Kunwari, yan, may nagtatanong kunwari.
Diba parang nagkikwentuhan lang tayo? Diba? You know what? I'm happy kasi naging natural na ang galaw ninyo. Nagkikwentuhan na lang tayo ngayon, di ba?
Nawala yung kaba kanina.
Yes. Go ahead, Marvin.
Para ma-invite din natin, sir, yung mga talaga special ng mga bio major talaga, sir.
Siguro ganun.
Sabi ng bio major tatlo.
Like gawin natin itong interactive radio-based instruction plus using social media platform. Tapos ito ang magiging innovation natin para mas maganda ang discussion kasi ang mga bata nasa Facebook na, di ba?
Yes, sir. So
ito nang gawin natin, nagde-lecture tayo, tapos ipanood natin sa kanila para mas maintindihan nila. Di ba? Sayang, kasi ngayon nakikita ko.
Pwede gawing action research.
Yes. Innovation natin. We'll make it as an innovation sa science. Pagpatuloy natin ito para may discussion points din tayo sa mga bata. Tapos pag hindi sila nakapanood pag hindi nila napakinggan sa radio, then ibigay natin sa GC tapos sa panoorin nila sa atin, di ba?
Opo.
Magandang idea. Okay. So naisip ko lang bigla. Okay. Baka kasi makalimutan ko. Okay, let's proceed. Diretso tayo sa usapan natin. Okay. Next.
Okay, so maliwanag na klase, no? So yung tanong kanina ng ating learner na kung ano nga daw ba yung scrotum? Okay, to continue, sabi ko kanina, this is not present in the female reproductive system. Ang scrotum is present sa mga kalalakihan. Okay, yan yung balat na bumabalot dun sa testicle ng mga lalaki. Yan yung parang pag tiningnan mo siya, yung balat na para siyang rough. Parang, kaya siya parang ganun ang texture niya, parang kulo-kulubot. Is for the scrotum to sag and to contract to maintain this temperature of the sperm. Kaya mapapansin niya sa mga lalaki, yan yung balat na nasa labas nung inyong testicle.
Okay, good to hear that, Ma'am Rosabel. Siguro ito nagtanong sa atin na isang babae. So she's also interested of knowing the male reproductive organ. And it's good that we have this kind of discussion so that our learners also will be aware of the parts and the functions of the reproductive organ. And so far as we're talking about hormones, the roles of hormones between the male and the female reproductive organ. Okay, so let's move on.
Sir Mark.
Okay, how are these hormones being produced? And what are the vital roles in the body? So, it starts first in our brain. So, we serve as the main processor of the entire cycle. So remember that, kids or students, that it starts from our brain. So in the hypothalamus, which is the part of our brain, so certain cells secretes the gonadotropin releasing hormone and set it into the pituitary gland through the bloodstream. So the anterior pituitary gland contains the gonadotropic cells. Once the GNR reach the anterior pituitary gland, it stimulates the gonadotropic cell to produce gonadotropic hormone. So gonadotropic hormones has two types. First is the follicle stimulating hormone, or FHS, and the luteinizing hormone, which is the LS. Remember that, student, we have two types of gonadotropic hormones, which is the follicle stimulating hormones and the luteinizing hormones. So they're transported to anterior pituitary gland by the blood into the rightful destination. The reproductive organs, which is the testes for male and ovaries for female, and what are the vital role of follicle stimulating hormones and luteinizing hormones in the reproductive organs. The role of these follicle stimulating hormones and luteinizing hormones, they help in the production of sperm cells in the testes of male and egg cells in the ovary for females. Those are the rules of the follicle stimulating hormones and luteinizing hormones. They help in the production of sperm cells and egg cells.
So, ang magka-partner, if it's the male reproductive organ, the egg cell is for the female and the sperm cell is for the male. Right.
So, is that clear?
Yeah, it's in terms of the follicle stimulating hormone. Am I right?
Yes, sir. The follicle and luteinizing hormones. Those two hormones has vital role. So, is that clear, student? So, now you will learn the role of different hormones to the female reproductive organs. And to make it more understandable, we ask about it. Of course, will best explained by my partner, Ma'am Rosabel. Go ahead and share our thoughts about this.
Okay, andito na naman ang mga kababaihan. Ipaglaban.
Okay, sige. Take it away.
Okay, sir. So, baka lang malito, sir, yung mga estudyante natin kasi maraming glands sa ating katawan. Diba? Meron tayong adrenal, may pancreas, and kung ano-ano pa. So, for the purpose of the reproductive system, yung mga estudyante natin, i-focus lang nila yung kanilang attention sa mga glands na present sa ating discussion ngayon. So, for the female, we have hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the ovary. Okay, yang tatlong glands or sources ng hormones ang pinaka-importante sa aming mga kababaihan. Okay. Since we are talking...
Wait, ma'am. Nakuha nyo na ang tamang timpla.
Okay,
You've seen it already. Okay, halimbawa, tapos na tayo doon. Okay, so nakita ko na kasi I have seen the improvement already. I've seen how you deliver it, and there was so much change already as compared kanina nagbabasa kayo. Diba nakita nyo? Okay. So halimbawa tapos na tayo. si Angkor magsasabi na, okay, so it was indeed a very nice engagement to the two resource speakers, sir and ma'am. I learned a lot from you, and I'm sure our dear listeners have learned a lot from your topic, which is about the roles of hormones involved in the male and the reproductive systems. Okay, so let's just have a recap of the key important points that our learners need to have gained from this discussion. So one, ma'am, what are the key messages that we have to impart to our learners? One?
Okay, for our listeners, you have to remember that our reproductive system must function properly. But in order for the reproductive to function properly, we need these hormones in our body and to keep these hormones balanced. Okay, and these hormones, the sources of these hormones are the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the testes for the male, and the ovaries for the female. And the hormones that are involved are, we have the gonadotropin hormones or releasing hormones, GnRH, and that is present for male and female. We have also the FSH, follicle stimulating hormones, both present in male and female, and the LH. All right, so those are the hormones that is released by this pituitary gland. Now, this pituitary gland stimulates our ovaries and testes to release these important hormones. Okay, for the male, always remember, sa ating mga kalalakihan, ang hormones na inire-release ng inyong testes ay ang androgen, ang anyong testosterone, and the inhibin. For the female, we have the progesterone and the estrogen. Okay, yung mga hormones na yan ay hindi lamang sa pagkakaroon natin for the reproduction, pagkakaroon ng mga anak, kundi this also responsible for the secondary characteristics of human. Sa ating mga kababaihan, hindi pwedeng maging kamukha ng lalaki, at ang lalaki hindi pwedeng mamukhang babae. At ang responsible din class ay ang ating estrogen at ang ating testosterone.
Okay, so, very good, Ma'am Rosabel. And I'm sure that our learners have gained that key important message that you want to impart about our discussion this morning. What about you, Sir Marvin? What are the key message that you want to impart to our learners, especially to the parents?
Okay, always remember that our hormones, the luteinizing hormones and the follicle stimulating hormones in our reproductive organs, they always help in the reproduction of your sperm cell in the testes, and also in the females. In the females, it produces the egg cells. So always remember that our system must be in homeostasis or state of being balanced, because if it is not in balance, there may occur some diseases or magkakaroon tayo ng mga problema dun or disorder sa ating mga katawan.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So we are getting so much inputs from our source speakers this morning. So I'm sure our listeners also have learned so much from you. Actually, may isang message dito. Sabi ng ating listener, Ma'am, ang galing niyo po. Sir, ang galing niyo po. We've learned a lot from you.
Yes,
so very excited to see you again in the next learning episode. Okay, so naubos na po ang ating oras. Tama-tama lang. We only have few minutes before 12 o'clock. And I'm sure we will be getting back on air as we discuss another topic, learning episode in the next radio-based instruction plus in science. Okay, so again, this has been your anchor. My name is Sir Noel. And with me are our source speakers. We have
Ma'am Rosabel Manzanito from Tabas National High School.
And Marvin P. Dasco from Paracale National High School.
Okay, saying you bye-bye and thank you for listening and watching our videos. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you po.
How was the activity?
Sir, mas maganda talaga yung para nagkwekwentuhan.
Correct.
Kasi para naninigas yung pangako kanina, kababasa.
Correct. Nagkikwentuhan lang tayo, di ba?
Ang sayang pala
Dapat mindful ka sa script mo. Alam niyo, bigla akong naisip talaga na what if we go live i-record natin itong mga usapan, tapos ibigay natin sa mga bata, tapos ipanood natin sa kanila. Pangtulong pa rin doon sa radio base natin. Ano? I will be inviting mga speakers, tapos ako ang mag-a-anchor.
Yes,
diba?
sir.
Para mas mag-guide natin ang discussion. Ano? Tapos if it's online, ang sarap lang, di ba? Para nagkwentuhan lang tayo, oh.
Oo nga, sir. Tapos parang yung time, parang ang haba-haba na natin nag-uusap, pero kung nagbabasa lang, parang ilang minutes lang ito. Tapos
correct. O, di ba? So, di ba, importante yung maging natural ka while you do the radio-based instruction.
Opo.
Okay, dapat nagkikwentuhan lang kayo, mag-pretend kayo may tanong para mahumaba ang discussion.
Tama.
Diba? Basahin, pag-aralang mabuti, dapat marami kayong hawak ng ganito para marami kayong sasabihin sa radyo kasi wala dapat dead air. Ano? So, bigla lang ako napaisip kanina, kinatuka yung Marvin at Ma'am Rosabel kanina kasi gusto kong gawin natin itong ganito, nag-uusap-usap tayo para at least I got to know also the teachers in the different schools. Tapos mag-share pa rin tayo ng knowledge sa ating mga bata while we do this practice. Ano ang sarap, di ba?
Yes, sir. Tapos, sir. Yes, sir. Tapos, sir, siguro suggestion ko, instead na ganitong bond paper ang hawak natin, ano kaya, sir, Marvin? Cue card or yung pwede naman siguro, sir, na may laptop sa harapan.
Correct. Yes.
Para ganun lang. Para, kumbaga, nakaharap din tayo sa kung live man yan, nakaharap din tayo sa camera kasi nasa harapan natin yung screen. Kasi pag ganito, sir, nagbubuklat kasi.
Pagkausap kita, Ma'am Rosabel, tumingin ka sa camera para ako ang kausap mo.
Oh, yes.
Ikaw din, Marvin. Sige, go.
Opo, sir. Diba? So, let's invite our learners to continue listen to our RBI teaching lesson. Kasi po, itong RBI natin na ito, although ito ang first time natin gagawin, sir. So, invite natin sila na yung mga, especially yung mga grade 10 natin na maaaring makatulong ito sa kanila. At saka, if they have questions baga na kasi wala silang mapapagtanungan sa classroom, pwede nilang matanong na dito. Meron naman tayong master teachers na sasalo sa atin if ever na medyo hindi natin hindi tayo aware dun sa question.
Yes, good. I enjoyed talking to both of you. I enjoyed having this kind of drive. Enjoy ako. Ikaw, Marvin, what's your thoughts about our activity this morning?
Kanina, sir, medyo kinakabahan ako kasi first time. Pero nung lumabas na yung natural, yung lumabas na, sir, kanina yung natural kasi hindi na ako nagbabasa, may inputs na. Kasi nakakapagsalita na, nakakabati na ako ng Kaya kailangan lang talaga, sir, na yung topic talaga ay aralin.
Okay.
Thank you very much for sharing your time with me this morning. I've learned a lot from the two of you and I enjoyed talking to the two of you. Diba, ang sarap mag-uusap-usap lang tayo pero nakapag-discuss tayo. So sabi ko nga, seryosohin natin ito and this might be our innovation in SDO for the radio-based instruction. Diba? May radio-based itong innovation natin tapos bibigyan natin sa. Okay? So thank you very much, Ma'am Rosabel and Sir Marvin. You can share your experience to our colleagues there in Tabas and in Paracalit District. Okay? So,
sir.
We invite more resource speakers to have this kind of conversation tapos i-record. So yung naka-record tayo, so yung nag-record.
Ako po.
Okay, good. I-record mo siya tapos pwede mo siyang i-post sa sa GC. Okay. So thank you very much for your time. I enjoyed a lot. So thank you and I hope you gain from our experience this morning. Okay, bye-bye.